Hi, I'm Midge Shoemaker, and this is day 62 of my doing 100 days of YouTube videos and focusing on my writing. Sorry, I was having issues getting my phone to stay standing up for some reason. Hit the button to start the record and it slides all over the place. Anyway, day 62 of my writing. And today is one of those days where I just avoided doing it as long as possible, to the point where I'm like, I don't even know why I'm still awake right now, and I don't know why I'm awake, period. But I need to write something, so I grabbed some paper and some pen and I started a prayer, and I was like, what do I need to write today? And then I was thinking, I need to take better care of myself, so different ways that I could take better care of myself. And I have a whole list of things I think that I need to do. And the first thing I ended up putting down or writing down was to be gentle with myself, and then to remember that I don't have all the answers, and that I need to ask God for help, that I need to listen to myself and to my body, and that it's okay to cry, it's okay to have emotions. Um, Things that I wasn't thinking involved taking care of myself. But and then I kind of did a little metaphor analogy thing at the end. It's like I have to remember that to take baby steps. And I'm like, and babies fall when they're starting to learn how to walk. And sometimes they go back to crawling for a little while before they get the courage to stand up. And sometimes they just stand for a while before they sit back down. And then they take a few steps and sit back down. And they go back and forth between walking and crawling. And it's more like waddling, not really walking. And it takes some time before they get comfortable walking. And then they start, running. And I think sometimes I make plans for my life and my schedule and think that I can do stuff like basically at a run, like a constant run, like no stops, no breaks, no nothing. And I think my body just decides that it's like, we're not going to do that. So then I feel like I'm crawling again. And I'm like, why am I crawling? I want to be running. And I get so frustrated with myself and wondering why I haven't learned this lesson yet. And um, I don't know why I haven't learned this lesson yet. But I think maybe part of it is because I am very good at avoiding the emotions I don't like crying. I don't like to cry. So I think maybe that's my struggle with recognizing God's hand in my life, is because I know I will cry. And I know I need to cry. I know it's part of the healing process. It's the grieving process. I know these are all good things to do. And I'm starting to realize that maybe part of the reason I get migraines or I get sick or whatever is because I am so used to running on empty. I push myself until I am too tired and my body's like, it kind of has to force me to stop. And also, I have learned over the years that a lot of times, if we hold on to a bunch of emotional things, our bodies will respond in physical ways, with weight gain, with migraines, with illnesses, with other such things. And if we deal with the emotional things, the physical things take care of themselves. So I have a lot of emotional things, old baggage, old things, not present, current things. I mean, today I stayed home to take care of myself, to rest some more because I hadn't been feeling well. I had a couple different people stop by and bring me goodies today and make sure that I was okay. I got text messages. My kids called me today. I mean, overall, I could say I had a whole bunch of really good things happen, and I attempted to take care of myself, but it just seemed like every time I tried to fall asleep or take a nap, which I'm thinking I need extra sleep, someone would call or someone would message me or someone would knock on my door. And I'm like, I love you all. Leave me alone. which is which is kind of funny because I think growing up I always wanted to be sick to get attention, and I was like, I am not short on attention. I am not short on people that love me, that care about me. And but the problem is the one person that's not caring about me or taking care of me is me. And everyone else is checking up on me, making sure I'm taking care of myself, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not. And then I wonder why I'm tired all the time, and I wonder why I get sick, and I wonder why I'm so frustrated and why I can't run and why I still feel like I'm crawling, and realizing that I need to stop, which I don't like to do, and I need to face my emotions. I need to feel whatever I'm feeling. And I have mastered the art of avoidance. I have mastered it because I have spent an entire lifetime avoiding my feelings, avoiding emotions, creating stories in my head, letting someone else have the emotion, getting angry at other people, blaming other people, um, either just not doing things and watching movies, reading books, playing games on my phone, anything to keep my mind occupied so I don't have to sit with myself. I don't have to feel whatever emotions are there. And um, I'm learning that that's not healthy, that I need to sit, that I need to feel, that writing is an excellent way for me to feel those things. And as I start writing, all those things come up. And I think that's why when I feel like those things are coming up, I don't write in my journal because I don't want to face those things. And if I don't write it, then I don't have to deal with it. And that's not true. That's the lie that I tell myself, that if I don't write it, I don't have to deal with it. But I do have to deal with it because it will continue to haunt me. It will continue to come up until I process it, till I deal with it, till I let it go. And I don't even know at this point what old emotions, old things are coming up or that I need to deal with. And it's because I've buried them very, very deep in the recesses of my mind. And because I'm so good at not focusing on them, and I have been very good at focusing on things that I'm grateful for. Because I mean, I am grateful for the people that came, that cared, that brought me goodies when I haven't felt good, that have checked up on me. Um, I'm very grateful for all the blessings that I have in my life, and I love the new perspective and the gratitude that I can find, that I've seen in doing all these gratitude videos. And I love all the things that I've learned about myself in my writing. But the one thing that I'm realizing is it doesn't matter how happy I am or how grateful I am for things, I can still feel sad. I can still cry. I still have old hurts that have to be mended, that I still have to deal with those emotions, those events, those scenarios. And as I do, and as I have in my book, I feel better. And it's like letting them go because that is a gift from God. That is how He heals me through my writing. And the crazy thing is like, okay, if I know I can get healed through my writing, why don't I just write everything? It makes perfect sense. Just write it all down, get it all out, and then I feel better. But I live in this black and white, all or nothing world, and it's too intense to write it all at once. It's just way too intense. And when I try to force myself to do that, I freak out, I panic, and I hit the brakes. I dig in my heels, and I get that stupid stubborn. Because to me, when I get really stubborn like that, I just get stupid. Like, I don't listen, I don't think, I don't make good choices. So I know that about myself. It doesn't mean that I stop doing that. It just means that I know I do that, which is another one of those frustrating things. Today, I really wanted a list of 10 things I hate about myself or 10 things that irritate me instead of things I need to do to take care of myself. And I'm just grateful that God knows me better than I know myself. And He knows what I need. And He knows that I need to cry. He knows that I need to process these things. He knows that it's okay for me to stop, to take a few days off, to rest, to regenerate. These are all necessary things that I'm not good at. They're things that I'm learning how to do because I wasn't taught them growing up, because I didn't have examples of that in my life growing up, because it was easier to just be busy, to be preoccupied, to avoid, to pretend it wasn't happening. So, which I'm grateful because it's given me an active imagination. It's given me a whole bunch of stories to write, years worth of things that it will take me to write all of my stories and then some. I could totally build a career out of it. I could totally see that at some point. So I'm grateful for that. But it's hard to make that change. It's easy to say, okay, I need to change. Okay, I need to face my feelings. Okay, I need to face my fears. Okay, I can do this. And I've had some really good days where I'm like, I could totally do this, and I'm totally doing it. And then I have some other days where I'm just like, that ain't happening today. And today is one of those days where I just am very tired and I'm getting over something and just not letting myself sleep, not taking care of myself like I should be or could be. And then I fall into those shoulda, woulda, couldas. I fall into those negative cycles. And I'm like, I just don't want to write. I just don't want to do my video. And then I realized the only reason I'm not going to sleep is because I haven't written and I haven't done my video. And I was like, so if I get up and get something to eat and do my write something so I can do my video, then I can go to sleep. That's awesome. I should have done this hours ago. I have no excuse for not doing that. Like I said, I'm very good at avoiding things, but I am grateful that I'm trying to push myself to do at least this because I'm on day 62, and to stop at day 62 because I'm just tired and I don't want to deal with life today, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I need to remember it's not a bad thing. It's okay to rest and take care of myself. That's not the issue. But it would still be sad at day 62 to just be like, and I stopped, because then I don't know when I would start again. And I don't want to fall into that negative cycle and beating myself up. And I'm already feeling that way too. And so I need to bounce back. I need to get back on track. I need to pull myself up from the ground again. And I need to remember that it's okay to crawl. It's okay to just kind of stand there for a little bit. It's okay to just sit in whatever it is that I need to sit in and feel and face whatever's going on emotionally so that I can deal with whatever's actually going on in my life in the present moment. Again, all things easier said than done. All things easy to write down. And as I write them all down, I realize, oh, that's a lot of work I got ahead of me. And sometimes I think I look too much at the mundane, the work, and I don't always remember to look up. And I forget that there's a way up, there's a way out, there's hope through the atonement. And I forget that I'm not stuck where I'm at, and that God is just a prayer away, and the help I need is just a prayer away, and it's okay. And so I'm aware of that, but I'm also stubborn sometimes, and for whatever reasons I have yet to figure out in my brain, I have those days where I just don't want to feel better. I just don't want to do better. I just feel burned out and I'm done. And I just don't care. And today was a I don't care day, and I don't know why day. Or a wallow in self-pity day when I have nothing to be pitying about. I don't even think that came out right. I know pity's a word, but that sounded so funny when I said that. I don't have anything to wallow in. My life is not horrible right now. I'm in the middle of a lot of changes. I'm making a lot of progress in my life. I'm doing these videos. I've been working on my writing. I've been making stuff for Christmas. I've been very blessed. I have very generous friends and family that have been there for me, and people from church that have been there. And I just feel very, very grateful and very blessed. And I just don't understand why in all of this that I have to be grateful for, that I am just feeling blasé today and not caring. And excuse me. I think in part it might be because I'm just haven't been feeling very well, and maybe I haven't been feeling very well because I've just been pushing myself, because I have all these grandiose ideas of things that I'm going to be able to do and accomplish, and then when I realize that I can't accomplish all of them, or at least not in the time frame that I wanted to accomplish them, then I give up. That's my old habit. That's what I do. I'm like, I can't finish it when I wanted to. I can't do what I wanted to do. So then I just give up. I quit. That's it. The end. And the sad part about that is it's not the end. And I don't have to quit. I don't have to give up. It just means that things are going to take longer than I want them to. It just means that I may not be able to do everything that I wanted to do. Or maybe it means I need to go in a different direction. But it doesn't mean that I failed. And it doesn't mean that I'm this horrible person. And it doesn't mean that I can't still finish what I started. But I think I get down on myself, and the longer it takes me to do things, the worse I feel, which is just, it's ridiculous. And it's easy to say it's ridiculous, but it's real. That's how I feel. That's what I do. And so when I just feel overwhelmed and I get behind on things and I feel like I can't do what I wanted to do, I do get discouraged. I do give up. I do want to cry. I don't usually. I just avoid my life. And it's like, well, if I can't do the one thing I wanted to do, then I'm just not going to do anything. And that was today. And that was not very good choice on my part. But I'm grateful that I did write about things, ways to take care of myself, and remember that the most important is to be gentle to myself and to ask myself, how would I treat myself if it was my friend? And if my friend was having a bad day, would I let my friend cry? And I would. Would I wouldn't berate my friend for having feelings, for having emotions, and for falling short or not accomplishing whatever they wanted to do. I'd offer to help finish what they needed to do. I'd offer solutions, or I'd just sit and listen and let them cry and be like, I'm so sorry you feel that way. It's okay. And I don't do that with myself. And that is something I need to learn how to do. And I'm grateful, I guess, for the opportunity to learn something new. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I am grateful to learn that, to realize that it means I don't have to be as hard on myself, and that I can face things, and that I'm not alone in my feelings that often seem very irrational compared to the situation. And so I beat myself up because they don't make sense to me. But I don't think emotions are meant to make sense. We get excited about things that other people don't get excited about because it's not as important to them, but it's important to us. We get upset over things that are important to us that don't seem important to other people. We all have things that we go through, different situations, and sometimes, like in my case, I had a lot of trauma growing up. So when little things happen in my life, all the old trauma comes up, and I know I overreact to situations. I don't do it as much anymore because I've done a lot of healing. I've done a lot of work. Get a little frustrated when I realize I still have a lot of work left to do. But I'm grateful for the gentle reminders that God gives me that I'm a work in progress, but that I'm worth it. I'm worth the time and effort it takes to make these changes. And it's worth it to have a good cry, to feel better. It's worth it to put myself out there. It's worth it to face things one day at a time. I just have to remember I only have to do it one day at a time, and little tiny baby steps, or even crawling is okay. I don't have to jump straight into running, because that's my problem is I see where I want to be and I'm like, and let's go. And I can't get there all in one day or 1 hour, and then I get frustrated and I have these grandiose ideas and I'm like, it is possible to do all of that, just not in the time frame that I've set because everything always takes longer than I think that it will. And I just need to learn to stop giving up, because God has never given up on me. And I need to learn to not give up on myself. And that's, like I said, that's something that's kind of hard for me because that's not what I was taught growing up. And not that anyone verbally said to me to give up on myself or that I wasn't good enough. It was just the way that I was treated. It was my interpretation of the situation, of being neglected, of being ignored, of feeling like the weight of the world on my shoulders and not knowing how to deal with it or what I was supposed to do, but feeling like I was still supposed to have all the answers. So I learned how to BS my way through life really fast. I can make up all kinds of crap to make other people happy, but it's not who I am, and it doesn't make me happy. And I'm learning that I do that with myself. Like, I think I know all the answers I need. If I just do A, B, C, and D, everything will be fine. And I do A, B, C, and D, and it doesn't work. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And really, I'm fine. It's just, it doesn't always work out the way that I want it to. The end result isn't always what I want. I think it's what God wants. I think it's the direction that God wants me to go, I hope. but it's not always the end result that I'm looking for. It's not always the answer that I want. And sometimes the answer is to just be still, to just sit and wait. Sometimes the answer is to relax, to sleep, or like today, the answer is to cry. And I'm like, that's funny because it ain't gonna happen. So what do? I get on my video and I cry. That was not my intention when I started this video, which I think is also why I didn't want to write things, because I didn't want to cry. That is one of my, not that crying is a weakness. I think that's one of my weaknesses, that I don't allow myself to feel emotions. I think it takes a lot of strength and a lot of courage to feel emotions, to express emotions, to let yourself cry, to show your imperfections and weaknesses, to let other people see you for who you really are. And I struggle with that one, because I have spent my whole life hiding from myself and from the rest of the world, and thinking that no one could see who I really am. And I realized that lots of people could see who I am. I just couldn't. And I'm starting to see who I am. And for the most part, I actually kind of like who I am, which is great, which is amazing to me, which is why last night when I was doing the 10 things I love about myself, and I'm learning to love myself, it's amazing. I just didn't think the very next day, it's like, okay, here's your big, shot in the arm self-esteem boost, so you can handle the next day where you're going to bawl your eyes out. I was like, that's not fun. That's not fair. That's just not how life should work. But I feel like I live in an emotional roller coaster. I grew up in an emotional roller coaster, and I wasn't allowed to express those emotions. So now that I'm in a safe place where I am able to deal with those emotions, they're coming up in an emotional roller coaster. Pretty much the way I lived my life. And although my life isn't a roller coaster anymore, which I'm very, very grateful for, my emotions sometimes still feel like they're a roller coaster. And sometimes they feel like that volcano that's just erupting. And I was like, where the heck did this come from? I was fine, like yesterday, like 2 hours ago. What the heck happened? I don't even know. So I get very easily overwhelmed, and those emotions come up, and then they come out in these videos. So I hope I'm not the only person that has this crazy emotional roller coaster. I know I'm not the only person that has this, but I feel like sharing it, one, kind of helps me, and two, it kind of puts it out there for anyone else that has the same struggle that I do, that has been taught not to cry, and is having to learn that it's okay to cry. It's okay to have feelings. It's okay to express them. It's okay. And it's actually healing and healthy. All things I'm still struggling with that concept. It reminds me when my adopted mom, one time I had a migraine and it was making me throw up, which I don't like to do either. And she actually was telling me, oh, that's a good thing. Get all that icky stuff out so you can feel better. And I was like, nobody in my life had ever said that to me before. Like, it was okay to just throw up when you're sick, to get all that stuff that's making you not feel good out of your system so you can feel better. And I was just like, I was so stunned and so amazed that she was so calm and so gentle about it, and not like, ew, that's gross or whatever. Or she was just like, oh, this is okay. This is a perfectly normal thing. Get this out of your system. Don't worry about it. You'll feel better after you do this. It's like, nobody ever said I'd feel better after I threw up. I mean, I usually do when I'm sick or ate something that didn't agree with me. Doesn't always work with migraines, on the other hand. It sometimes just gets worse and I end up in the emergency room. But it was just, that's a shocking shift, change, response to anything that I'd ever had growing up. Which, again, is why these are my adopted parents, and I love them very much, because they're showing me a different way to treat myself, a different way to look at things and illnesses and other such things. And then I do these little videos, and it just reminds me of all of these things that I have been learning and that I need to remember to apply in my life, because it's one thing to have it up in my head. It's another thing to internalize it, to actually do it when I'm in that situation, Because when I don't feel good or when things aren't going well, I have those old default settings, and I swear they're deep-rooted default settings, and most of the time I don't even realize that's what I'm doing until I drag myself out of bed, until I turn off my phone, until I look around. I'm like, wait, what the heck am I doing? This is not what this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. I know better than this. But knowing better and doing better are not the same thing, and getting my actions to meet that, to where I want to be, takes a lot more time and a lot more work. And it's the process of every time making an effort, a conscious effort, to make a different choice, to make a different action, to fight those default settings, to reprogram those default settings so that I do respond differently. And that worked with the gratitude. It really did. And so I think somehow with my writing, it's forcing me to face my emotions. And now I'm going to have to learn how to face my emotions instead of running away from them. And that's a much harder default setting to reset, to change, because, like I said, I have mastered the art of avoidance. I have not mastered the art of facing my life or my emotions or my feelings head on. I'm not even sure what my emotions are most of the time. I have mastered the art of avoiding them, of not knowing how I'm feeling in any given moment. I don't stop and say, how do you feel today, Midge? What's going on, Midge? I don't know. I don't ask myself those questions. I don't ask why I'm struggling. I don't ask why I don't want to get out of bed. I don't ask myself, what do I want to do today? I don't ask myself, what do I need today? So on that list that I made of how to take better care of myself was just those very things, to ask myself, what do I need today? How can I meet my needs today? What can I do for me today? And I don't ever ask myself those questions. So I need to find somewhere that I can put up a little list of questions that just says, how are you feeling today? What do you need today? What can I do for you today? And try to do that. And I think that as I do that for myself, it'll be a lot like the other things that I've done. As I start finding compassion for myself and understanding for myself, I start doing it for other people as well. So the more I do for myself, the more I'm willing to do for other people. And but I need to find a balance, because it is really easy for me to focus on what to do for other people and to stop taking care of myself, to always put other people first and not take care of me. And it's like, no, I have to take care of me, and then I can do the stuff I want to for other people. And if I'm healthy and taking care of me, then I have the energy and the motivation to do for other people. And then it feels like this good experience and a great thing, and it's not draining and exhausting, and I'm not stressing myself out. And I think because it's the holidays and Christmas and it's coming, and I haven't done all the stuff that I wanted to do, I'm just stressing myself out. And when I stress myself out, I make myself sick. And I don't consciously do that, but I do that, and I think I'm realizing that's what I'm doing. And so I'm trying to change that just a little bit. I'm not doing a very good job. I'm very much so struggling with that. But I am grateful to at least be aware. And I'm grateful in my 12-step program, they talk about you have to have awareness first, then you have to have acceptance, and then you can take the action. So I'm kind of, I'm in the awareness stage. I'm aware that I'm not making the best choices as far as taking care of myself. I'm aware that I get overly excited and want to do things and for other people and see their reactions. And I'm aware that I have limitations that for some reason I don't think I have. I imagine I don't, and think that I can do everything like I'm Wonder Woman. And then I get sorely disappointed in myself when I realize I'm not. So that's kind of my internal battle and finding a balance. And I don't know if I will ever figure that out. But if anybody has any suggestions on how to do that, please put them in the comments below. I would love to know how to fix myself. That would be awesome. And if you like these videos, you can hit like, subscribe, or share to someone else if you think it will help them. And that's all I have for today. So I hope you have a great day full of gratitude and maybe some writing.